And welcome back to Gym Bags, where two old bags discuss wellness and quality of life for ladies or anybody really over 50 or thereabouts. I'm Mel Byron, and this is
Judith Barrass, your friendly fitness instructor and wellness advisor. Hopefully friendly. We're going to do it light-hearted, aren't we, Mel?
Absolutely. I think we've always said this is because we're both comedians as well, just in case anybody hasn't noticed that. We want to keep this, very much not serious, but accurate and giving you good.
Yeah, we're giving people information and knowledge that will improve their quality of life. But we don't have to be miserable about it, do we?
Absolutely, no. Absolutely. The sun is shining. Although I have to tell you, Judith, I was a bit miserable recently because I got the blood. I can't believe it. You know, we have to remember COVID is still here.
Yeah.
And I got it a couple of weeks ago, managed to get through it in time to go on a few days holiday, managed to keep away from my husband so he didn't get it. But, and this is what I really wanted to talk to you about today, was during that 8 days when I was sequestered in our spare room, I did no exercise. On my phone, you know, the little the dots showing me, I did nothing. But after about 3 days, I felt well enough that I could, but I didn't. And I just wanted to ask you about, you know, if you're not well, and it might be COVID, how do we balance that? Oh, we've got to rest with, but you've got to move, because God, there's nothing worse than not having moved for several days in terms of the old stiffness.
Yeah, and that's because the human body is meant to move. Yeah, the slide and the glide, you need hydration. You need to get some hydration into those tissues, pushing the fluid in. And yeah, if you're really poorly and you've got a high temperature, then you've got to rest, haven't you, and take plenty of fluids on board. But once you start to feel a little bit better, start with just some mobility and some rolls, and do what you can. You can do some rotations to put the fluid back into your spine, because if your back's stiff because you've been laid down, the discs between your vertebrae, they get dried up. The only way you can push fluid into them is with rotation. So do a few rotations, maybe a bit of walking on the spot. You know, you can hold onto the back of a chair and do some heel raises. You can do all sorts of just gentle movements until you feel that you can do more.
So even some sitting, like you could do that. I'm sitting down and I can rotate now. So even sitting exercise.
Yeah. And if you've been sitting at your computer for a long time, which I know you do, Mel Byron.
I do.
Yes, you need to be doing rotations. Get some fluid pushed into those vertebrae.
Oh, and I can tell just by I'm sitting straight now. Yeah. I can tell the difference between the way you do it and the way I do it. I'm kind of more like this.
it's use it or lose it. Yeah, use it or lose it. So you've got to do it, and that might be enough for some people, even if they're not post-COVID or not a virus. They may have to start there, because the principles of fitness is fit. So it's frequency, intensity, time, and type, and that's what you do if you were trying to get
right. Frequency, intensity, time, and type.
Fit. Yeah, you're the clever one. I'm the fitness expert. You're the clever one with words. So use that principle when you've not been well, and frequency. So do some movements, little and often, and then you might need to sit down in between, or you might need a little nap. Because we all love a little nap, don't we? Now we're of that certain age. Yes. It's a gift. It's a gift being able to nap. It is.
Do you know, I can't. If I nap, I can't sleep at night.
No, you've got to do it before 3 o'clock. Do it before 3 o'clock, otherwise it interferes with your bedtime. So before 3, so maybe just after. I mean, look at Margaret Thatcher, look at Winston Churchill. They all used to have a little nap after lunch.
Yeah. And Margaret Thatcher famously slept 4 hours a night, didn't she?
Yeah, so they say. Yeah, but she was sleeping for 4 hours during the day. No,
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't think she did. And also, you only want a short nap. If you have 45 minutes, then yeah, you go into deeper sleep, and that'll affect your sleep at night time. So just it's a little nap.
But again, if you're not well, this idea of, and I don't know, have we moved on from this? But I remember when I was younger as a kid, people talked about bed rest.
Yeah.
Like, this is the only way to rest. It's just to lie in bed for days and days and days. And I can't think of anything more horrendous.
Yeah. Well, it's how you feel, what you're capable of, is it? And if you've got a burning temperature, you're not going to feel like doing much anyway, are you? So if you're really bad, then you may need a day or two in bed. But yeah, you can rest in a chair, or you can, like I said, do little bits in between. Bit like dogs. They'll run around, they'll come back, they'll have a nap. Or cats, yeah. Look at a cat. A cat will have a nice little nap in the sun, and then you watch them. When they wake up, it's a slow. They're pushing all that fluid back into water.
Is that what they're doing? Is it kind of like it's just instinctive that they know?
They know. We've lost that ability to do that as humans. So we've got this sedentary life. We're sitting here, and we're just getting dried up old prunes. Never mind old bags. We're getting dried up old prunes because we're not moving. Whereas the cat will slow, and it doesn't rush. It doesn't go to the gym and say
yeah.
It just goes ooh. It has a little stretch, and then it might have a little mooch around the garden, and then it'll jump on the back fence and off it'll go to meet its furry friends down the street.
But that idea of like the morning stretch when you get out of bed and things like that's for a reason, is it?
Well, maybe you're not ready for a big stretch as soon as you get out of bed. I like mobility first, because remember, you can still hurt yourself if you overstretch. So have a bit of a move, and then maybe just an easy stretch like the cat, an easy stretch, and then maybe go into it a bit more. Don't grit your teeth, and just ease into it, see how you feel, get into a good posture. Just do like the cat does, and have a little move about first. And the same when you're not being well, you should do a little bit of movement and do it often. Frequency, intensity. As you're feeling better, you can start to work harder, time longer.
Do you think that will also help with your general recovery as well, if you're doing that?
Yeah, because you need to push the fluid through your lymph glands.
Right.
Yeah? Your lymph glands have been working really hard to get you better. And so if it's all stagnant in your lymph glands, it needs a push through. There are some exercises, some mobility exercises you can do, which actually improves your immune system. And I try and do them with my over 50s class, which they're over 70 and over 80. And I try and do the mobility stuff that improves your immune system. And it's not running a marathon, and it's not even going to the gym. It's just moving, get some movement. Push.
That was an interesting one you just did there.
Yeah, I was thinking here's one I prepared earlier. Just doing that, pushing the fluid through the lymph glands in my
what's that? Is that like a miniature Swiss ball or something?
It's just, they call it a squishy ball. And you can see I haven't pumped it up because I want that squishy.
You want it to be squishy.
squishy, squishy.
Really? So
Yeah.
if I just bought a couple of, one of those and just did that, that would
Yeah,
actually
just
be
well,
great.
you can do it without having to buy something. You could roll up a piece of clothing, squish, squish, or squish, 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 squish.
So that movement, like when you're using a stress
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah, it's movement, even just movement like this, even just moving, like we talked about the rotation.
Yeah.
You can do more rotations.
And you can be
increase
doing this, sitting up in your sick bed if
Yeah,
you feel
I mean,
that.
Joseph Pilates, that's how he, started with the Pilates phenomenon. I have trouble with that word. But yeah, there was all these people in concentration camps laid in bed, and he rigged up all these pulleys so that they could still exercise while they were laid in bed, and so that they, recovered quicker. And of course, that's where the reformer machines came out. They were born out of that. So yeah, and those bands are so good. You can get them pretty cheap now. And
The
different
bands,
colours.
resistance bands and things.
Yeah, and if you roll, it's in the cupboard, but if you roll a resistance band up and then have it in a tube and squeeze that, it's good for your hands, but also it'll start pushing things up. You can squeeze up above your head. There's loads of things you can do with it.
And so all these things you're talking about here, all these kinds of movements, are they also, because obviously as we get older, the words rheumatoid and arthritis kind of hove into
Yeah.
Can those, are they in any way preventative, or is that asking too much?
Well, yeah, I mean, the degenerative diseases are going to be there, but yeah, there are ways you can slow them down, or you can learn to live with them, so it doesn't affect the quality of your life so much. Like the way you eat can help the arthritis. If you eat anti-inflammatory foods, it's going to help with that inflammation. And yes, moving. And some people find moving at different times of the day, maybe morning doesn't work for them, but after they've got going a little bit, then they might go off for a swim, or they might go off to an exercise class like my over 50s class, and they feel better in the afternoon. So yeah, you've got to tailor it a little bit to yourself, but also, don't just sit there, can't do it. You've got to give it a try and see what suits you, but also the when it's best to do this frequency. You may be able to do a bit more as you get warmed up.
Right. Okay. I have to say, exercise, it's really interesting because exercising in the morning is not for me.
Yeah. Well, if that's not for you, I mean, my husband will always, and my daughter, they like to exercise in the morning, get it all done, whoosh, and it sets them up for the day. And if that suits you, that's fabulous. But it may not suit your lifestyle anyway, because you're dashing off to work or whatever. You may like to do it at the end of the day to de-stress after work, or because you feel better after you've done all your jobs, or you like to socialize and go out to a class in an evening. And if that suits you, then great. I mean, some people do it in their lunch break, especially a lot of people now working from home. They'll go out for a run or a walk. Definitely.
I've noticed that the gym around the corner from me, which I just rejoined, I want everybody to know that. I've noticed they didn't used to do this before COVID, but before COVID started, not 2 weeks ago when I had it.
Not yours, your personal COVID.
My personal COVID journey was they've started 30-minute lunchtime classes.
Yes.
They never used to have those before. And I think the idea is presumably you can fit that into a 1 hour lunch break. A few minutes to get there, do the class, shower, have a bit of lunch, get back to work.
Yeah. And 30 minutes is all that you need, because they'll be doing it at a high intensity. So they're doing a short amount. 30 minutes or less. It'll be 20 by the time you've warmed up and allowed for cool down. but they're doing it at a higher intensity. Whereas if you go out for a walk at lunchtime, or you're not being very well, you'll be doing it at a lower intensity, maybe more often or for a longer period of time. It's all good exercise.
Right. So I should try one of these half-hour high-intensity things.
You could, yeah. You might enjoy that because it's not so very long. Because I know exercise isn't your favourite thing.
It really isn't. But, you know, the quicker it can be done, the better. And, of course, being unwell kind of almost sort of like gave me an excuse not to do it. But my God, did I feel it? You know, I did feel stiff. And then we went straight away on holiday for 5 days. And I was walking like a mad thing because we wanted to do everything. And I love walking, to do everything, see everything. But the difference, you know, on my phone, the grey dots and then the green spikes. My goodness, by the time I came back, my legs and my lower back. And I think it's because I went from nothing for 8 days to boom, let's walk all over everywhere.
Did your phone think it had been stolen?
Yeah. Well, when the exercise started again, not when I was doing nothing. It was like, yeah, whatever. But yeah.
But well, I'm glad you're feeling better. And walking is a great exercise. But yeah, you know, and some people like to walk for a long time. But even if you just, like you say, go around the block in your lunch hour, it's great. It's great to get your eyes away from that computer. It's great for your brain. There's loads of scientific research coming out at the moment about walking. We could perhaps do
I think that could be a very good topic for a subsequent
session
episode.
just on walking.
A whole gym bags on walking. One day we should do an episode whilst walking, which would mean we'd have to be in the same place, but we'll make that.
No, we could, you know, technology.
We could do it. But I think we could go for a walk one day. But in the meantime, so good things. Thank you, Judith. You know, if you are feeling unwell, basically, just do little and often as much as you can. Build up to it. Do these, you know, as much as you can do stretching. It's about fluid, getting those fluids.
It's about fluid movements and pushing the fluid through. And do what you can. You may need to hold on a chair. But don't, if you're wobbly in your head, then no.
Okay. No. That's another topic for balance and wobbliness.
I can fill that one for you.
Okay, so that'll be the 1 hour Christmas special. Balance and wobbliness. Meanwhile, thank you to Judith. And that was really good.
It's been great to see you again, Mel.
Great to see you. We are the Gym Bags and we will be back with you soon.
You stay germ free.
Okay, thank you. And you too. Keep the masks on. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.